Analysis with me, the Flying Pig, and it's Tuesday today. Sorry about that. I'm absolutely shit at keeping to these Monday Analysis podcasts live, aren't I? Absolutely gashtastic at doing that. If anybody's actually waiting for these on Monday, just assume that they'll probably be out on Tuesday. No, I had to work this Monday, chock-a-block all day, so I just wasn't able to actually do the live podcast, so sorry about that. I'm getting around to it now. I finished work early today. So bish bash bosh, here I am to provide you with some mildly amusing entertainment about football and Manchester United in what is the weekly live video podcast called Monday Analysis with me, the Flying Pig, on Flying Pig United. And also you can find us on the podcast app if you just search Flying Pig. How's it going, everybody? Whoever's tuning in right now, Real Madrid in the house. Wow, we've got a club actually commenting, saying Champions League Day, yeah, nice one. Cameron Howard, how's it going to you? Alex Rincon with a super chat already. Eager Beaver over here says, morning Pig. Come on United, I'm not confident. Obviously you're a Yank, so it's the morning for you, but it's actually the afternoon here, but I appreciate the sentiment. He says he's not confident. I'm going to get balls deep into why I agree with you, Alex. Almost sounded like I was going to say something else then, didn't it? But yeah. What do I want to talk about today? Of course, this is the show where I sort of dissect the weekend's football, not just Manchester United, give you my thoughts and opinions on what's happened. But obviously, as it is a day later today, we've got the Champions League tonight. We're playing Valencia in the Champions League. And it is a must-win game for Manchester United. Like you say, Alex Rincon, you don't feel confident. I don't feel confident going into this either. How could we possibly be confident going into this game against Valencia tonight? There's no way. Maybe home advantage would actually help us. But no, we've been absolutely gashtastic at home recently. So that doesn't help us. In fact, there's probably a hindrance right now. It probably is actually a negative that we're playing at home because we've been so poor here. Valencia, obviously a decent team. Usually I'd expect us to be fairly confident of beating them, definitely be the favourites going into this game, but at this moment in time, I have to say, I don't see us winning this game either. And I've titled the video, Mourinho getting sacked in the morning, ? Because if he doesn't beat Valencia tonight, if Manchester United don't convincingly beat Valencia, then surely he would have to go because, okay, it's the Champions League, it's a different competition to the Premier League, which we're having absolute double daymares in. And right now, obviously, we did get the result last time against Young Boys. Right now, I mean, a loss against Valencia, really, it wouldn't really mean that much. Because, of course, we've got a couple more games to play in the Champions League against Juventus, also against Valencia again, and then another one against the Young Boys. So, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we lost, but realistically, I don't see us beating Juventus either of those legs based on how we've been this season, the disharmony in the squad, the Mr. Bean Portuguese manager we've got, the shambolic prima donna loser players that we've got, stinking up the place. I'm looking at you, Lukaku Poop. I'm looking at you, Paul Pogba. Who else is there? Lots of other people that are underperforming, the likes of Anthony Martial, the likes of Jesse Lingard, or Anthony Farcical, as I like to call him. Or Jesse minge hard, you know. It's not easy thinking of these puns on the cuff, but off the cuff. But those players, a lot of these players, the whole team pretty much have not performed for Manchester United this season. Hang your heads in shame, players, because you are getting paid an obscene amount of money, and you are not performing to 1/10 of that justification for that amount of money. No, you are not. Oh. And I'm still angry about the performance at the weekend against West Ham, where we just got made to look absolutely bang average defensive shambles by West Ham, who are also a bang average defensive shambles. So that's not good. And I must say, the way in which Jose set the players up, set the team up, the tactics, whatever you want to call it, his influence on the game was absolutely dreary and dreadful. You've got players like Paul Pogba just dawdling on the ball, not prepared to get his head up and find a runner. You know why? Because there barely were any runners. Because Jose Mourinho has just shackled this United team. He has. I'm sick of defending Jose Mourinho. I'm done defending Jose Mourinho now. He's supposed to have the balls to be able to get this United side playing properly. He's supposed to have the wherewithal and the knowledge to be able to play attacking football when needed. Not all the time, not against really good attacking sides. You know, maybe we do want to lull them into a false sense of security and just lull them in and spit them back out and hit them on the counter and stuff like that because we've got the players to do it. But against bang average teams like Derby County, Like West Ham, we should 100% be trying to attack the shite out of them and trying to beat them in every department of the pitch. Because we are United, we should be doing that. We've got a good squad. Jose spent hundreds of millions over the last couple of seasons. There's no excuses, is there? It's bullshit what's going on at Manchester United right now. Jose, you're having a mare, pal. Pack your Portuguese bags and leave. I'm done now. I don't see how he can turn this around. It looks like the board are going to persevere with him, but he's 1 or 2 losses away from it being inevitable, where the board would have to make that key decision and get rid of him. I want to talk about something which Gary Neville popped up with this week. He tweeted and basically said that the problems with the United started 8 months into Moisey taking the job when he was sacked, and United basically lost their identity as that club which always has the faith in the manager, and it's a long-term plan. That's basically what he was insinuating. And Gary Neville, I think, is the best pundit on English TV in terms of his tactical analysis, his breakdowns and stuff. I just generally agree with a lot of what he says. He's a very, very good pundit, really experienced, obviously a United legend. But on this one, I have to say, I kind of disagree with you, because he was saying that it's not really Jose's fault that the team is where it is right now. And the owners, Woodward, the board, everybody is in the wrong here, and I agree with Gary Neville on that. But I'm sorry, it's Jose Mourinho's job to marshal this team and get them performing. Look at what Chelsea were like last year. They got a new manager coming in, Sarri. He's turned them around, done really, really well with them, and they just look a completely different unit, don't they? The last time I can remember such a difference in a team performance and the way that they were playing was actually when Jose Mourinho left Chelsea the second time around. So he left Chelsea and they were in an absolute shambles. Eden Hazard looked like he was basically Quasimodo out there on the pitch. Couldn't touch the ball to save his life. He was awful. And the reason for that is he basically just didn't want to play for Jose Mourinho, as did a lot of the players. It was well known that he was basically the ringleader, and I think they even went and had a chat with the owners about Jose Mourinho's position there, and the fact that they did not want to play with him. And in that instance, obviously with Chelsea the way they are, with this manager merry-go-round and spending loads of money on these players, when a bunch of players like Hazard come into your office and say, we don't want to play for the man here. I mean, what do? You can get rid of the players, but if it's supposedly one of the best world-class players that's available in the Premier League, then, you know, and the way that they were performing, it sort of meant that Jose Mourinho had to go. And are we at that situation yet with Manchester United where the players have that power, the players have that much discontent with the tactics and the way that we're playing and the manager and everything, that they would do something like that? I mean, I don't know. I think that Manchester United are the sort of club where we have got more tradition than the likes of Chelsea and City and those sorts of guys. We have. But Gary Neville's right in the sense that we've lost that over the years. Since the Glazers came in, I think we've lost it. Since Fergie's left, we lost it even more. And Manchester United are no longer that side that can afford to just keep blind faith in a manager like Jose Mourinho and expect him to get the turnaround that we want. I don't think he's capable of doing it this time. I really don't, because there is all this negativity behind the scenes, all this Pogba business. My personal opinion, get rid of Pogba right now and maybe get rid of Jose as well. I think they're bad eggs. Pogba just does my head in. But this whole backroom issue that we've had between them, it's not good that that's been aired publicly. It's not good that there's all this disharmony around the squad behind the scenes, and that is obviously transferring that out there onto the pitch. You can say what you want, but if this team was happy and motivated and happy with the style and knew their roles and just happy with their roles in the team under Jose, then I think you would see much better performances out there. Where the problems are coming from is the disharmony behind the scenes. It's also coming from the lack of continuity within the squad. We're mixing the squad up every single week. 4-3-3 against the Derby, 3-5-2 against West Ham, putting McTominay at the back there, just throwing him in there. You know, there's a lot of decisions that Jose has made that just do not make sense. And we are not playing the same way every single week. We're not getting the best out of Manchester United currently, because Jose doesn't know his best squad. Either that or he's protesting. Either that or he actually secretly hates Manchester United, and this is just a big elaborate plot between Jose Mourinho and Roman Abramovich. He sacked him the second time around, hoping he would get the Manchester United job so he can come in and sabotage the greatest club in the world. Maybe that has just happened, because it seems like it by some of the stupid things that Jose Mourinho is doing at United. What an absolute Portuguese Mr. Bean calamity that man has been recently. You can only blame the players so much. You've got to blame the system. You've got to blame the tactics. You've got to blame the selections as well, which is all from the manager. He's got to motivate these players. And the fact is, these players, let me just talk about these players, and I have done many times, but I'm going to do it again. They're just a complete bunch of losers, aren't they? They really are. There's not a captain, a leader in the whole lot of them. There's none of them. Who's your leader out there? Smalling and Jones? Come on, don't make me laugh. I'd be chucking them in a locker if we were at school. What about Luke Shaw? Nice lad. You know, I'm happy with his performances this season, actually, but he's not a leader, is he? No. He's a quiet lad, likes to keep his head down. Same with Antonio Valencia, who is actually our captain, and deservedly so, because we don't have a leader in the squad. And he's about the quietest bloke you ever meet in your entire life. I'm not saying you have to be a vocal person to be a captain and a leader out there on the pitch, but it certainly helps to drive your team forward. And also, you know, there have been players in the past that have been quiet, that captain Manchester United at times, like Paul Scholes, for instance, but he leads in a different way. He leads by example, and he drives the team with his creative play in the middle of the park. Who else is a leader in our team? Pogba? Absolutely not. The guy can't even, you know, lead his barber into making better decisions, can he? He's got no idea, Paul Pogba. He's all over the place. You don't handle yourself like this. You don't handle your business like that. You'd be a lot more professional at a club like Manchester United, Paul. Do you not know what this club's all about? You've already been here twice, mate. And I think there's a good reason you left the first time. He's not a leader, is he? No. Matic, good player. I like Matic. I do. I think he's a good player. Good, useful, solid player to have. Yeah. He's also a complete melt, isn't he? In terms of captainship. You know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but the point I'm trying to make here is Manchester United do not have the players capable of marshalling themselves, of getting the best out of themselves and each other. We used to have Roy Keane. Roy Keane would probably manage just as much as Alex Ferguson whilst he's on the pitch, because he had the tactical ability. He was very vocal. He wouldn't accept anything less than 110% from his teammates, and that goes in training and everything. I remember hearing a story about, or seeing an interview with Roy Keane once, and somebody said to him, what do you think about Cristiano Ronaldo when you played with him? Because obviously he's like this prima donna, sort of bit of a, you know, a bit feminine, isn't he? And all that type of thing. And Roy Keane said he absolutely loved him. He didn't have any problem with Cristiano Ronaldo, because Cristiano Ronaldo gave it 110% in training out there on the pitch. He had the right attitude every single time he showed up. And that is why Roy Keane never had an issue with him. Roy Keane had lots of issues with other players, and he would get them up against the dressing room wall if he did. And we're lacking a player like that. We're lacking a Vidic. We're lacking a Rio. They're all types of players that will marshal their units, marshal the defensive unit, marshal the team in front, and captain the side effectively, even if they're not the captain at the time. But obviously those guys were. Even further up the pitch, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We used to have Zlatan. He was a leader of different sorts. He would drive the team on, 100%. He's that kind of guy. He just is. Wears his heart on his sleeve out there, and he really drives the team forward. Captain, all day long, that sort of bloke. David De Gea, love him. He's not really a captain, is he? He's not a Peter Schmeichel, who's really capable of marshalling that side and getting the best out of the players. He's another one that would have you up against the dressing room wall. What the point I'm trying to make here is Manchester United do not have any leaders in our side. We don't have the players in the squad capable of wearing that Manchester United shirt well. I don't think none of them deserve to be, or very few of them, at least let me correct myself, deserve to be representing Manchester United. Certainly don't deserve to be getting paid anywhere near the amount of money that they're getting paid. If it was possible, I would pretty much get rid of most of them. I really would. If we just had an opportunity where we could pause the window, get rid of loads of players, sign a bunch of players, I'd be going out there and I would be signing players that really perform consistently, that try 100% out there, that have the right attitude, that are leaders. You know, I'd rather have Lee Cattermole than bloody Paul Pogba at the moment. I would. And I'm saying Lee Cattermole's gash. But what I'm saying is he's got a much better attitude out there on the football pitch than Paul Pogba. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. If you don't agree with it, fair enough. Let me know in the comments section. But that's my opinion. United are underperforming, and that's because we've got a bunch of melter players out there. Alexis Sanchez on $500,000 a week. Show some bottle, lad. Where's your performances that made you an absolute legend at Arsenal, where you were basically just a one-man team, Alexis Sanchez United, but you still performed. You always performed. What is it? You can only blame Jose's tactics so much. You're a footballer. Get on the ball and make something happen, you prick. You Chilean Bruno Mars. Do you know what I mean? He's not good enough. Not good enough. And when you're paying that sort of amount of money to players every single week and they're not good enough, there's something seriously wrong there. Get rid. That's what I would do. I'm sorry. Pogba, see you later on, pal. What's that? Juventus want you back? Go for it. You know, Anthony Martial, what's the news, Anthony? Do one. That's my personal opinion. I know it's a bit harsh and a lot of people disagree with me. I'd much rather have Marouane Fellaini than any of those players that I've just listed, because although he's not always that technically good, he is effective, he does try, and he's a useful sort of player to have in your squad. I'd much rather have a player like that than a player like Paul Pogba who only plays when he's up for it. It's like a Balotelli or something. It's like we've got Balotelli in the side. That's another one of those players. Another good example of those players that only plays when they want to play. Only when they're mentally right. Only when they're up for it. If they've got an issue with the manager, it could be something, he didn't address me. He didn't call me Mario properly in the way that I like this morning, so I'm not going to play for that prick. That is the sort of mentality these guys have. Mario Balotelli is a fine example. I know he's never played for United, but what the point I'm making is he's a player you don't want in your team. Because although he's got all the talent in the world, and sometimes he shows that, he doesn't show it consistently because he only does it when he's up for it, mentally. And that's the same with players like Paul Pogba. That's the same with players like Alexis Sanchez, it seems. Players like Martial, players like Lukaku. These guys don't seem to be capable of performing to a high level consistently like they should. They only do it when they feel up for it. And that's just totally wrong when they're on the money that they're on. Everton, you want to come back in for a cheeky bid for Romelu? Go for it. Fire sale. Slash the price. That's how I feel about it. I would put the future of Manchester United in the youth setup right now, rather than the bunch of overpaid prima donnas we've got right now. Let's see some of the younger players coming through, given some opportunities. I know it's not going to happen, because football's not like that these days. But would Sir Alex Ferguson be tolerating this shower of shite out there on the pitch? Would he? We all know the answer to that. No! He'd have probably stuck the old Glasgow kiss on Paul Pogba himself. And if he hadn't have done, he'd have set Roy Keane on him or something. And it just wouldn't have been happening. You wouldn't get this under Sir Alex Ferguson. Romelu Lukaku, Fergie was a man management maestro. It's not just about shouting players down and beating players up. What it is about is also judging when to put your arm around a player, when to shout at a player, what personalities react different ways. And that is why he was such a master, because he knew how to do that better than anybody else. And I'm basically just done with this set of players now. I really am. This is a bit of a dramatic video to start off the old Monday analysis episode with. Just a massive rant about the manager and players. But come on, this is Manchester United. Are you telling me that we can't assemble a team on that sort of money that can't perform, can't beat Derby County, can't at least perform against West Ham? It's absolutely laughable. We got a bunch of pricks in this side. We really do. Prima donnas. No motivation in them. No backbone. No bottle. I'd actually take Roy Keane and Paul Scholes out of retirement right now. But, instead of Paul Pogba. I really would. There's players out there who need to look at themselves in the mirror, need to smash that mirror over their heads, go to A&E, get themselves stitched up, come back and man the fuck up. That is what they need to do. And until they do that, until they actually start showing a bit of bollocks out there on the pitch, I'm not going to get behind them. I'm not. Pogba, sorry, do £1. Lukaku, 25 goals a season for Everton. You're shite for us, though. Why? You're hitting the post all the time. You're good at hitting the post. Hit the back of the net, you prick. So until we start seeing better performances from them, I'm sorry, I am not going to support these prima donna wankers, just like I'm not going to support Jose Mourinho, because it stems from his management, stems from his horrible defensive tactics that are nothing to do with Manchester United at all, and his lack of bottle to go and attack teams. It all stems from that too. Oh, right, everybody who's tuning in right now to Monday Analysis on Tuesday, thanks so much for stopping by on the live video podcast. Do us a favour, smash us a like on this video, get in the comment section, let me know your thoughts and opinions on stuff that's going on right now. Just wanted to talk about one other thing actually quickly before I move on and get to your comments, and that is, I don't know if you've seen all this Ronaldo rape allegation stuff that's popping up again. I mean, come on. Cristiano Ronaldo is some bird out there is dragging his name through the mud in an attempt to get some more money. Ronaldo did pay us some money several years ago, hush money, but that's all it was. Come on, Ronaldo's not Rachel Love, I'm sorry. He doesn't seem like the type, I know you can't always tell, but he doesn't seem like the type. Not only that, How many women must throw themselves at Ronaldo's feet? And I know that's also not an excuse, and that doesn't say that he's not done it. But come on, man, he's freaking Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't need to rape anyone. And he also just doesn't seem like the type. I just know Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't raped anyone years ago. Yeah, he paid us some money. It's not incriminating. It's just to get the fuck rid of these people. He's got so much money. So, anyway, I just wanted to say, stay strong, Cristiano. We've got your back, pal. We don't believe this shite. And it's just an absolute shambles that the legal system, that it's even possible to do this after it's already been settled once, that they come back several years later when all the money's dried up probably, and to have another go. It's an absolute calamity. So yeah, stay strong, Ronaldo. Right, let's get through to some of your comments. To everybody joining me right now, you're a bunch of legends. Sorry it's a day late. But I will be doing them every single Monday / Tuesday / Wednesday, but every single week, every single Monday. Honestly, I will try and do it every single Monday, and also after games. So like tonight, I'll be doing a post-match reaction for the Valencia game, and then tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be doing a live video podcast for that as well, just going a bit more in depth into what happened in the game and once the dust is settled and everything. So there's going to be more content coming out on this channel. You can also listen to it audio only on various podcast platforms like iTunes and SoundCloud and all that good stuff. Whatever app you use, Podcast Addict. Just search Flying Pig Podcast on there, or Mr. Flying Pig HD, or Monday Analysis, and you will be able to find them on there. Haven't posted the last one on there yet, though. I'm a slacker! I'm a real slacker. No, I have been very busy recently, so sorry about that. Jesse Hitman comments, why is it Monday Analysis? Well, it's a very complicated question you asked me there, Jesse. It's because I usually do it on a Monday, and I'm sort of analysing what's happened at the weekend, but I know I've answered that a bit truculently, but no, I actually understand where you're coming from, because it's Tuesday today. It should be called Tuesday Analysis, but I didn't really want to make a new thumbnail, so it's called Monday Analysis, even though it's Tuesday. It's just a little bit late, guys, all right? Calm the F down, Jesse. No, thank you very much. Docman99 says, listening at work through the hi, bro. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, mate. Did you say hi? Did that mean hi-fi? I don't know. I think you autocorrect did you there, pal. But Docman, thanks so much for tuning in at work. Hopefully it's making it that little bit less bad. Unless you love your job. Dinesh Kumar comments and says, hey Pig, how you doing, mate? I'm doing very, very good, Dinesh. Not too bad, considering the club that I love is an absolute freaking calamity at the moment. Other than that, not too bad at all. Deepak in the house comments, how about today's match? Yes, we've got Valencia later. Champions League. Not feeling confident going into it. Don't think we've got the bottle at the moment in the side to be able to really make a go of it. The fact that it's Old Trafford just makes it even worse and puts more pressure on us at the moment, because we're expected to do better there, even though we're not doing well at home. And we're not doing well on the road either, really, but better than we are at home. We're doing so bad at Old Trafford this season, and I just don't feel good going into this game, because the players don't look up to it. The players are not performing. They're not comfortable. Don't know what system Jose's going to play. He's mixing it up week to week. Could be playing a 2-2-2-2-2 later tonight. I don't even know. Jose's nuts in the head at this stage. He's going to play a 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-2 out there or something. He's a nutter. So I personally think that the game is going to be bad from Manchester United's perspective. Hopefully I'm wrong. Obviously I want to see the mighty Red Devils go out there and smash them 4-0. But based on how we've been playing recently, based on the team, the players, the manager, the tactics, the style, the commitment, the motivation, every aspect of Manchester United right now is bad. So I don't feel good going into that game. I really don't. Mohammed Rad comments and says Zidane is learning English. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good possibility that Zinedine Zidane could manage Manchester United after Jose Mourinho. He would be a good candidate to come in and manage the team, I think, based on his record, what he did at Real Madrid. Obviously, he's one of the most intelligent footballers who's actually ever played the game. And although players don't necessarily make good managers, good players don't necessarily make good managers, you can't deny that that definitely helps, especially when you've got an elite level player trying to get other elite level players playing to that elite level consistently, because he's actually capable of coaching these players in a different way. Jose Mourinho cannot really coach Paul Pogba about how to necessarily play the game, but Zinedine Zidane could maybe instill a bit of tactical nous, a bit of patience in his game at the right times. and timed aggression, timed attacking, all that sort of stuff is very, very important. And if you've got a manager that has played at that highest level and is one of the most intelligent players to ever play the game, I don't think you can put a price on that. I don't also think that it means that he's going to be a successful manager at Manchester United in the Premier League just because he took over that Real Madrid team with those unbelievable players and was very successful with them for a couple of years. He was very, very good. He impressed me. It's like he went in his first spell as management at Real Madrid, and he just got them winning things, big things, Champions League 3 years on the road, on the bounce, Unbelievable stuff really from Zidane, and didn't work out last season, of course, so much. And he went, but he's still a very good manager. Coming into the Premier League, though, managing this Manchester United side, who are in a lot of turmoil at the moment. We've got players who are underperforming. We've got a bad squad, really. I mean, we don't have a good defence. The attacking players, you can make an argument for, they've got the ability. They don't actually transfer that onto the pitch at the moment, but they've got the ability. The back line, I think, needs definitely addressing. Smalling, Jones, Bailey even. Hasn't looked good enough this season. We need to sign some real top quality players in that area. Bringing in somebody like him could actually help us do that. Maybe he's got the ability to just get Sergio Ramos over for 80 million or something. I don't know. But he would have to spend a bit of money in the January transfer window in order to improve this really subpar Manchester United side. He would. But he could probably improve us. Maybe he's the guy to come in and put an arm round Paul Pogba and get him playing properly again, instilling a bit of belief and also teaching him things out there on the pitch, both mentally and both in terms of skill and different things that Zidane picked up over his career. Because like I say, he's one of the best players to ever play football. He really is. He was that good. People who have maybe been born like after 2000, these millennial people, you may not really know just how good that crazy French monk with the major bald spot was back in the day, but he was absolutely majestic. He really was. I always remember that goal he scored against Manchester United, that free kick in the Champions League for Juventus, and he is an unbelievable player. He really is. And he's got the ability to go on and be an unbelievable manager as well. He's already won unbelievable things, but it was in a specialist situation. It was at the best club in the world at the time, really, with the likes of Ronaldo and the likes of Kroos and Modric and all those guys. Unbelievable set of players he had. But still, he had to go out there and they had to win things. So he's a good option anyway. Thank you very much for your comment there, Mohammed Rad. Alex Rincon, if we lose, surely Jose gets the sack, right, guys? You would think, Alex, but this is the Manchester United board we're talking about. I think if they were going to make the decision and try and save our season now and maybe give us the opportunity to get top four still and still go on and challenge for things this season, then maybe they'd have already made that decision based on how bad the squad is performing, how much our £500,000 a week players are looking like they're on about half a bloody £100 a week. That's how much they actually should be on, but that's how much they're looking like they're on. And surely if you take all these things into account, then the board would have probably made the decision already if they were going to get rid of him. Now, Gary Neville's saying, it's not really about the manager, it's the club, it's the sacking mentality that's coming to the club. We lost that identity as a club that's got that continuity with the manager. But I always think Jose Mourinho was a short-term fix for us. He came in, he really did do well in his first season, won us the Europa League and a couple of other Mickey Mouse trophies, and he did really, really well. Steadied the ship, got us Champions League football again the following season. He did really well. Last year, you could even argue it wasn't that terrible. We were just really second best to an unbelievable Premier League side. One of the best Premier League sides we've ever seen, right up there with United's treble winning side and Arsenal's Invincibles. City's team last year were right smack bang up there with those sides. They were that good, that consistent. So we were just second best by a very, very long way to one of the best Premier League sides there has been. But the way in which we started pre-season, the way in which we started this season, he's had an absolute calamity. Third season syndrome once again for Jose Mourinho. He can't hack it, lads and lasses. He can't hack it in his third season. So this is what we're getting. We're getting this turmoil at the club. We're getting the players underperforming. We're getting the manager playing useless tactics and useless selections and shackling this United side by making them play this dreary defensive football. We all know we want to see United go out there and attack teams. Don't care if we lose to Valencia tonight. I want to see us set up, bang, go for it. Get a lot of balls forward. Get a lot of balls down the wing and whip them into the likes of Lukaku or whoever's playing up there. Get him on the ball. Get the ball to him. Give him more service. let's make some forward runs. People criticising Paul Pogba for his performance last week. I did as well. It was absolutely shite. He's garbage. But if he had more options, more runners, more people making runs in behind, maybe he could find these passes. Maybe he can make a few more things happen. But he's not got any support, and neither does Lukaku. Lukaku's not getting the service. Yes, the opportunities that he is getting, he's missing. So it's a confidence thing with him. He's having problems, definitely. But at the same time, if the team was just told to go out there and freely express yourself, keep to the formation and the shape and all that stuff, but just go out there, try and make runs, make passes, try and get the ball in the back of the net, I think we'd instantly see a much better Manchester United side, because these are attacking talents we've got, very technically gifted players who can perform at a very high level. We've all seen them do it in the past on occasion. We've all seen them perform like world-class players. Anthony Martial, certain games I've seen Anthony Martial play, I was like, hang on, have we just reincarnated Thierry Henry, even though he's not dead, into a new body, and we've got Anthony Martial? He's been that good for us on occasion. So it's about these players just manning up anyway and you know, and starting to perform. But I totally gone off on a tangent and forgot what I was talking about. But Alex Rincon, you said, surely if we lose, he gets sacked. Yeah, I think he's going to get sacked if we lose this game. But then again, I don't think the board is actually going to got the bottle to make the decision. I think they'll let him lose a couple more games before they have to make the decision, before it becomes undeniable that we have to make a change, because we'll just be plummeting down that league table. But until that moment comes, until we get, you know, right smack down there in the league, I think they'll stick with him, because this board is just a bunch of blind melters, to be honest with you. And they don't know their arse from their elbow. That's evident from a lot of the decisions that have been made at Manchester United. That's evident from not signing a top quality centre-back in this last transfer window just gone. They must be a bunch of idiots. If they can't see that we need to improve on Chris Smalldong and Phil Nobones, then they must be absolutely moronic in the head. So, yeah, I don't think they'll sack him, even if we lose to Valencia. But I think they probably should now. The time has come. The team is lost. Doesn't look like we're getting any better. There's no progression taking place. We're just going backwards. There's no signs of anything positive to come either. Fair enough if Jose just went for it and we were attacking. So let's say we lost 4-3 to West Ham, but we really freaking went for it. The defence is a shambles. We know that, so they can see 4 goals, whatever. But we're going for it. We're flooding forward. We're attacking. We're scoring goals, giving the fans something at least. Maybe it'd be a different story. But because he's prepared to just whimper out with that girly defensive style of football that he's got this team playing, that has lost it for me. I don't want him at United anymore. Because he's not getting this United side playing like we should be. We should be an attacking side. And not all the time, but when we're coming up against teams we're technically better than, we should 100% be trying to attack them off the park. So he's having mares there, he really is. Lanu Pato comments and says, it's time to drop Lukaku and play Rashford down the middle. It's so obvious, but Jose can't see it. Yes, Lalu! Yes, Lalu! 100% you're smack bang on there, pal. You really are. I totally agree with you. Lukaku, what have you done for us, really? Recently, you're terrible, mate. You just... On a low, whether it's confidence, whatever it is, your form is absolutely down there. And I personally would love to see him benched. I'd love to see him dropped. He's not earned his place in this team tonight. He's not earned the opportunity to represent Manchester United and wear that glorious red shirt. He has not earned that opportunity recently, Romelu. You haven't. So I would drop him as well. I'd give the opportunity to Rashford. We saw Rashford score in the last game. You know, he looked like one of the only players really going for it, or just trying to feed off scraps, of course. But Lukaku's off the boil. Whether it's his fault, whether it's Jose's fault, whatever you want to call it, it's a mixture of everything. But whatever you want to call it, he's not performing and he deserves to be benched. We saw how shite Alexis Sanchez has been recently, and Jose dropped him for the last game against West Ham. He wasn't even on the bench. So he's not afraid to do it. That was justified as well, based on Alexis Sanchez's shocking performances. Maybe it would actually help if we played Sanchez up top there. Lukaku's not doing it. Give the opportunity to Sanchez. We saw how good he was against Arsenal in that position. Go attacking, though. No point playing him there if we're going to play shitty defensive football. Let's go for it and try to feed him. He's a maestro in that area and getting behind. If these players have the right mentality and they're up for it, and the manager's made them up for it, and the manager's made them aware that we're going to go out there and we're going to try and attack. Express yourself, lads. You're some of the most attacking players in the league. Go out there and express yourself in an attacking manner. Then maybe we'd see a better Sanchez Or maybe we'd even see a better Romelu if they got the service. But you know what? Screw those two players, man. Screw those two overpaid prima donna losers. They're not good enough at the moment. Drop them entirely. Rashford, 100% up there. Let's get Rashford in. Let's play bloody Pereira or something instead of these mugs. I don't care. Let's play somebody who might actually have the bollocks to play for Manchester United to 100% of their capabilities. Or not even that. Just give it 100% effort. That's what we really need. So, yeah, I agree with you though, Lalo. Definitely blatantly obvious that Lukaku needs to be dropped. You can't keep going on and not performing. Your job as a striker is to put the ball in the back of the net. You might not be getting the service, but your general play, your general commitment is off at the moment. It's not up to standard, so I would drop him as well. Rashford all day long for me. These are the sorts of lads you want to put your faith in. Rashford, to me, strikes me as a good, honest lad from a working class background. He's got ethics. He just seems like a good, positive individual. And I know that's not the most important thing when you're out there and it's about football. And you just want players who are performing. You just want players who are good players. But to me, it is almost as important. I want nice, good lads. I want Rashford in the side. I want players who are capable of really giving their 100% effort to Manchester United. I don't want players like Paul Pogba in the side who only play when they want to play. Or Sanchez, who only plays when he... In fact, he's never even played for Manchester United, really, has he? He's never really done it for us. And do you know why that is? Because he's a mercenary. Because he's a Chilean Bruno Mars, and he's made his money now, and in his mind, he's basically retired. He was at Arsenal. There was all this talk about him going back to Barca, and all this stuff. And he was looking for that big last payday to see his career out, wasn't he? Because he's over 30. He wants a nice bumper contract now to see him out. He would have been prepared to go to China or wherever to get it, because he's that type of geezer. He is the type of guy who's motivated by money. That's my own personal opinion anyway. And now he's getting that $500,000 a week. What does he have to do? He gets that $500,000 a week regardless of whether he plays or not, regardless of whether he plays well or he plays badly. He gets paid that regardless. And I just think mentally, there's no way that he can be performing to 100% of his capabilities because he's just got it too easy now. It doesn't make a blindest bit of difference to him. He doesn't love Manchester United. He's not bled for Manchester United for 20 years. No, he's come in as a mercenary, and he's not performing well at all. Gary Neville's right. We've lost the mentality at this football club. We really have. We've had mayors. We should have been signing 4 up-and-coming quality talents who are really hungry, rather than that one Alexis Sanchez or that one Paul Pogba or that Lukaku or whatever. We should be trying to get a future squad, not just a bunch of mercenaries that are getting paid 300k plus to be shite. Oh, this Monday analysis podcast is supposed to make me feel better, but at the moment it's just depressing me even more, just talking about this Manchester United side and how bad they are. But everybody who's tuning in, we've got 189 legends tuned in right now, also a couple of Scousers. Thanks so much for stopping in by in this live video podcast. Get in the comment section. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do us a favour, chuck us a like on this video. Let me know your thoughts on Jose. Let me know your thoughts on Pogba and the players and Lukaku and Sanchez and all these prima donna melts. Let me know your thoughts on the Valencia game later. What do you think is going to happen in that game? What do you think the outcome is? Man, I'm pumped up at the moment, but this United side is not. This United side is not pumped up. Do you know what? Can we just start a petition, actually? Can I just go in there and dish out the pre-match team talk? Can I just do it, please? Can I just do it? Tell them I'll wear boxing gloves and they can wear head guards. Because that's the tone that I'll be setting out there. No, in all honesty, they do need a rocket up them. They really do. We just need to get Sir Alex Ferguson in there with Yap, Stam and Schmeichel and Keane on leashes. Just get Fergie in there with those nutters on leashes and then just get them in there, get in their faces and make them man up. Let's make them man up. Seriously though, has the world gone mad? Has United gone soft? Are we a soft team these days? We used to be a team full of bruisers, a team full of really gifted technical players, but also half of them were the sort of people you would want on your side in a barroom brawl. I'm talking Kino Stamo. I'm talking Brucey. I'm talking Pallister. I'm talking Schmeichel. All these guys. There's so many more of them as well. And we used to have an abundance of these type of players. These really passionate, no-nonsense players that would try their absolute hardest. If Roy Keane saw somebody performing like Paul Pogba did in his team, he would have a go at him. He wouldn't wait for the manager to have a go at him. He would be having a go at him. And we don't have leaders out there at the moment. I keep saying it, but it's so bloody true. AK comments and says, Jose, please leave my club. Yeah, there's a lot of people disheartened with Jose Mourinho at the club at the moment. Listen, we wouldn't be really on his back so much if it wasn't the style of play being so bad. It's one thing to have a terrible start to the season, the worst start to the season for Manchester United for 29 years, Jose. 29 years, mate. 29? It's one thing to have the worst start to the season in 29 years, but it's the manner of which we're playing our football. If we were giving the fans something, if we were entertaining, if we were attacking, if we were going for it, we wouldn't have this pressure on Jose. We wouldn't have this pressure on the team because we'd still be getting something at least from tuning in, from going to the games and watching these games. People don't want to be bored for 90 minutes. We want to see an attacking team with the ethos of Manchester United, which always should be of an attacking side, of a team that's trying to go out there and rip the opposition apart. It should be that mentality. It should not be this defensive crap that Jose's got us playing. So I'm sorry, Jose. You've had your chances now. I've said it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It is one thing to play shite defensive football and get the results. It's another thing to play shite defensive football and not get the results. And I'm sorry, you're not getting the results. You're not entertaining the fans. You're not treating us to anything other than a steaming pile of mundane, boring horse manure every single week. When it should be the opposite. It should be absolute creme de la creme on a platter, which is Manchester United, because that is what we should be. It's not like these players are on Leicester City money. No, they're on Manchester United money. They're on Barca money. They're on Juventus money, whatever you want to call it. With these players, are some of the highest paid players in the world. So we should absolutely be performing better. Prakash Kumar comments, it's a humbling experience for United fans. Long time coming. Fans still sticking to team amazing. Yeah, it is, but I mean, it's been going on for a while now, hasn't it? I mean, since Fergie left, there's really been a humbling experience for us United fans. We've had very limited success since then. Yes, we did win an FA Cup under Van Gaal. Yes, we did win the Europa League under Jose, and the League Cup and stuff. Yeah, there's actually been some trophies, but really, it has been an eye-opening experience, a humbling experience since Sir Alex Ferguson's left. We all knew there was going to be a drop-off. I certainly didn't think David Moyes was going to continue that winning ways that Sir Alex had us, that level that Sir Alex had us playing to, because nobody can. And there was always going to be that drop-off, because if you lose such an icon at a club like that, it's very hard to replace him. It's very hard to have a smooth transition. I thought Jose would be the man to bring that harmony back to this Manchester United side, but I can honestly say I was wrong. I mean, it worked initially, but it's really gone downhill, and it's gone downhill fast as well, because he's lost the players. I don't think those players want to play for him. I don't think those players want to play in his defensive shitty system. They want to express themselves. They want to attack. They want to score goals. You know, they want to go for it. And I can understand the players' frustrations. I really can, because you've got a manager saying, look, get the ball, slow it down, pass it to the side. Don't look for that forward pass straight away, you know. It's like, I always remember, I think it was Sven-Göran Eriksson, when he was England manager, seeing an interview with him, and he said the first thing that he got his players to do was, when you get the ball, wherever you're on a pitch, look for a forward pass. Obviously don't play a stupid forward pass, but get your head up, look for a player in space, advanced up the pitch, ahead of you. And I'm not saying play long ball, they could be 5 yards away from you, but he wanted the first pass to be played forward, because it sets you on the right path. It sets you on that mentality of we're trying to advance up the pitch towards the opposition's goal and score a fucking goal. Whereas Jose's teams don't do that. He probably says pass it back to De Gea or something. I don't know what he does. But it's not an attacking mentality. It's very defensive. So the players are shackled. I understand their frustrations. Maybe we would just see Romelu banging in 25 goals a year again, and Pogba scoring 30-yard screamers and setting up all sorts of getting 20 goals a year from midfield. If we had a manager who just let them go out there and express themselves, like a Jurgen Klopp or someone, even though it disgusts me to say that because he's a Scouts manager, but like that type of manager, then maybe we could actually get these players performing again. But right now, they're not. And Jose is, of course, having an absolute mare. Kid Technic comments and says, as an LFC fan, I feel sad for Man United. What? Pogba is destroying this team with a shit attitude. Mate, you cannot really be an LFC fan, can you? I appreciate your comment, though, kid. I really do. But hang on a sec. Are you telling me that you actually feel sorry for Manchester United, mate? That's bullshit, mate. No, Thanks very much for you. I don't know what that was, actually. It was awful. Pogba is destroying his team with a shit attitude. Even Liverpool fans are feeling bad for us now. That's how bad it's got. Although, don't feel bad for us. We've actually won the Premier League in the last 30 years. Oh, have some of that. Baratendu Sumel comments and says, "Hey Pig, love the show. Quick question. We've been seeing the same crap with 3 different managers. At what point do we give a significant share of the blame to the players?" Oh, they've got to take a significant share of the blame. If you've been watching my videos, you see me blaming the players most weeks. And the players, of course, do have to man up. If you go back to the start of this video and watch, you'll see my tirade at these prima donna overpaid losers that we've got in the squad, and my thoughts on them. The players have to man up. The players have to leave. We've got to get better players in. But also you have to say that the manager has a big influence over these players and motivating these players and getting the best out of these players. So Alex Ferguson at times had some shite players in our squad. We did. We had Anderson, we had Nani, we had Jemba. The list goes on. There's lots of players that were not considered good players either before or after being at Manchester United. But while they were at Manchester United, Sir Alex got the best out of them. He did. Nani was a mini Cristiano Ronaldo while he was at Manchester United. He was so dangerous, so silky, so skillful, so effective. We're talking skinning 2 players and dinking it over the keeper here consistently. He was so good when he was at Manchester United. After Manchester United, he's not been so good, I don't think. Anderson, who does he even play for right now? I think he plays for like a pub team in Brazil or something right now. He has not done well after leaving Manchester United. He wasn't even that good, Anderson, in my opinion. Always let me down. But still, Sir Alex got him performing to the best of his abilities, which may not be all that much, but still he got him performing to the best of his abilities. That's what Jose Mourinho's job is. His job is getting this team performing to the best of their abilities consistently on a week-to-week basis and representing Manchester United in the right way. And getting the players playing the right way as well, because you can't blame the players necessarily for the way we set up in the last game against West Ham, for the tactics, for the selection, for the defensive mentality we had throughout the game. You can't blame the players for that, because if Jose just said, look lads, we're playing 4-3-3, get down the wings, whip the ball into big Romelu as much as you can. Also, look for those through balls. Romelu, make those runs in behind. Wingers, make those runs in behind. Try and pick those balls and try and get clean on one-on-one with the keeper. There's lots of different things that Jose could have said to make them play attacking football. But we didn't play attacking football, and that's because of Jose. So it's a mixture of blame for me. The players need to man up because they're a bunch of losers. The manager needs to man up because he's a Portuguese Mr. Bean imposter. Don't even know if this is the real Jose Mourinho we've got anymore. Is this Jose, or is this some Portuguese Mr. Bean imposter who's just happened to, maybe he's like, chloroformed the real Jose Mourinho, and he's got him locked up in a basement or something somewhere, and at the moment we've just got this imposter in charge of the club. Kane versus Predator comments and says, David De Gea for captain. Yeah, well, he's one of the players that, in my opinion, deserves to actually be at Manchester United. Can't fault David De Gea's commitment to the shirt. Can't fault his performances. He's been our best player for the last 5 years. He really has. And he's one of the best players in the world in any position, because he wins us so many points based on how awesome of a shot stopper and a goalkeeper he is. He's so solid, he's so consistent, dependable. Yes, he would probably be a good choice for a captain out of this bunch of melters, but he's not my ideal type of captain personally, as I said earlier on in the video. I like a more vocal captain. I don't like goalkeepers to be captains either. I used to be a goalkeeper, but and I was captain sometimes, but you don't have the influence that you do out there on the pitch, especially in the final third, especially in midfield there, because obviously in a stadium you can't really get your voice across, and you need people out there to marshal the team. You need a Steven Gerrard or a Roy Keane or somebody like that, or even a Zlatan Ibrahimovic up the top of the pitch who's capable of doing that. So yeah, I think he would be great as a captain based on the shower of shite we've got at the moment, but I would actually look for us to go out there and sign some real characters and have a captain out there on the pitch. And I don't actually think we've got one in the squad right now that's up to the standard of what I'm talking about. And they don't actually have to be that vocal of a player. That's the thing. They can also lead by example. Wayne Rooney was a bit of a melter when it came to being vocal, but he did lead by example. Brian Robson's probably another good example as well. Samuel Mann comments and says, Pig, your banter is fantastic. Thank you very much, Samuel Mann. Appreciate that. Just put me on the spot now. I'm trying to think of a bit of banter. Thanks, man. There you go. That'll do. That was shite. Hannibal Mahari comments and says, Pogba has to go. Get rid of him now. Get rid of him now. The Wookiee comments and says, Pig slowing production down at work. Well, that's good. Hopefully, production comes to a complete halt, and so you can watch this video. Thanks so much for stopping by, mate. Robbie Jones comments and says, we are in deep rock bottom territory, down where the megalodons are. Shit's deep. Yeah, man, we really are. Well, we're not really, are we? I mean, we're not actually at rock bottom. You know, we could get relegated to the Championship. Maybe for a club like Manchester United, that would be rock bottom. But no, I hear what you're saying. We really are, because we're so far behind our biggest rivals, Liverpool and Manchester City, that it's depressing. And not just points-wise behind them, but behind them in terms of the style of play, behind them in terms of the performances and the quality in the side. Think about it. When we had Sir Alex, we were so spoiled. There were always times when Liverpool had good teams, when they had really good teams. But they just couldn't put it together, largely because we had Sir Alex Ferguson. He was that good. Shitting hell, I've just got a very important text message, and I'm going to have to wrap this up now. That's so annoying, but it has actually been 50 minutes. It's a 50-minute podcast this week. Usually I like to do about an hour for these Monday analyses. Oh, hang on, we've got a super chat here. Let me just go through the super chats really quickly. But to everybody who's tuned in and watched this, thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut it a bit short now. But do us a favour, chuck a like on this video. If you're new to this channel, if you just stumbled across this video podcast, subscribe, hit the little bell button. You'll be notified when I post a video. We're going to try and do these live video podcasts every single day after games. So I'm going to do post-match reactions the night of, and then once the dust settled, I'll try and do these games. But at the very least, there'll be a Monday analysis episode, which is sort of just discussing the weekend's football, not just Manchester United. I didn't actually have a chance to get onto the performances of the other teams in the Premier League this weekend, but I will try and do that every single Monday anyway. But we've got a little super chat from Mark Ogilvie, who comments and says, can't wait to destroy you 5-0 on October 20th. Get out of here, you dirty Chelsea scum fan! I believe that's a Chelsea scum fan he's got there. I believe we're playing Chelsea on October the 20th. So, yeah, at this moment in time, the start to the season Chelsea have had, the way in which they're going about it, I don't feel good about that game. I really, really don't. It's a way off. Maybe we can turn it around between now and then. Don't think so. Hate to say it, but, you know, you might be right there, mate. You really might be right. Few shout-outs here. Richard James, Andy Manchester, Beachy45, Oms Lefty, The Boogeyman 01, Gooner FC. All these people who have tuned in right now, and I'm not able to get round to reading your comments because I've got to go now, unfortunately. Thanks so much for stopping by and getting involved. Do us a favour. This video will end soon, and when it does, you can comment in the comments section below, and that will enable you to actually have your say again, which will stick around, and I'll be able to reply to that, and so will everyone else. So please do that. Alex Rudd with a super chat. How's it going? Listening to the show. Can't type because driving. Concentrate on driving, Alex. Thank you so much for getting involved. You said can't type because driving, but how did you type that, mate? Did you do the old OK Google? Does that work on YouTube comments? Can you just say OK Google right on Flying Pig United's live screen? Listening to the show, can't type because driving. Because it sounds like you're contradicting yourself there, Alex, because how did you type that, mate? No, thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Probably did it just before he set off, you know. He's a responsible driver, as our Alex. But thanks so much, mate, for getting involved and stopping by. Unfortunately, I'm having to wrap this one up a little bit early, but appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate everybody else who stopped by. Like, subscribe, comment. Keep a lookout for a post-match reaction to the Valencia game later on tonight. Keep a lookout for more of analysis tomorrow with another episode just like this. Don't know what I'm going to call the midweek episode yet, but you will see tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled. Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Pogba, on Mourinho, on these Shire-shite players we've got at the moment, on who you think we should get as next manager. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. You've been very classy as ever. So have I. I'll see you very soon. This is the Flying Pig on Flying Pig United. Take it easy. Come on, United. Sort your freaking lives out now. Jose, you Portuguese Mr. Bean. I've had enough of you, pal. Seriously. You need a rocket up you. I'm going to lock you in a cage with Roy Keane. Right, I'll see you later. Take it easy. Bye, guys.